Welcome back to the Popular Man Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. With me today, I have my always loyal co-host, Cord. I got Cord with us today. What's up, Cord?
How you been? How you been? Keep that 40 on me like I'm Zubac.
We got the number one Sun fan in the nation. We got Cam with us today. What's up, Cam?
Hey man, y'all already know what it is. Sun/Brooklyn Nation. We rocking.
And then we got my main man, DeLon, with us today. What's up, DeLon?
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Jordan. If you don't like how the election turned out, you're always free to go live in another country.
Tell him, DeLon. Tell him, DeLon.
Ooh, you sound like a certain former
Go back
president.
to Europe. Go back to your homeland. Get out of here.
But
You mean to tell me we're not going to the Million MAGA March today to support?
Man, hey, them boys is out. I ain't gonna
They
lie.
out there.
Them boys is
No
out there.
mask on. No mask on.
They regretted about 7 to 14 days. But, you know what we do. We give you our takes on basketball, music, and everything in between. This is episode 118 of the Popular Man Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you are listening on Apple streaming services, make sure you give us 5 stars. If you're listening anywhere else, give us a rating wherever you are. If you would check out the bio, there will be a link to our website, to our Twitter, to our Instagram. Make sure you follow us everywhere. So yeah, that's all the announcements that we have. So we'll get into the show. This week there was a pretty significant basketball news. Other than the NBA coming back, we also learned that Russell Westbrook is not happy with the Houston Rockets and that he wants out. An article with The Athletic came out stating that Russell Westbrook wants to return more to his floor general role that he had with OKC, and that he was not happy with the lack of accountability that was going on with the Houston Rockets. The police also cited how Austin Rivers was displeased with the lack of accountability within the Rockets. PJ Tucker was also displeased with his role in terms of money on the Houston Rockets. And I think a couple more players also were displeased about something of that effect. I think Daniel House has some complaints too, but Daniel House probably has some other problems. There's been guys, there's a lot to talk about here with the Houston Rockets. I think let's get right into it. Who, with the Rockets imploding right now, who is the biggest person to blame? Who deserves the most blame? Is it Russell Westbrook, James Harden, or the Rockets' actual organization? Who deserves the most blame in this situation?
I gotta blame James. Him and Daryl Morey was like 2 peas in the pod, coming up with all these little plots and schemes together to win. Now Daryl Morey is gone. We can't blame him no more. We can't say it's his fault. Harden begged them for Westbrook. They did not want Westbrook. They was gonna trade Chris Paul for other smaller pieces that you could easily trade for more valuable assets. James Harden went to them and said, "Get my brother Russ here." But my problem is this: why would you advocate and force your team to bring Russell Westbrook if you knew you weren't giving up the ball and you knew you weren't changing your play style for him? Because you remember when Russ went to the Rockets, I said, "Oh, this is gonna be a great team. They gonna catch somebody slipping in the playoffs because they have both made the decision to sacrifice from their own play styles for each other to thrive."
Mm-hmm.
And we did not see that.
Nope.
At all.
And
We saw the rest of the team make sacrifices. We saw them give Clint Capella. You saw it.
Oh, there's that delay. I was saying, Court. That's why to me it's Harden and the organization, pretty much everybody but Westbrook, because they're enabling James Harden to make all these decisions without those tangible results to warrant those decisions. Because we have a LeBron James who came back to Cleveland after winning the championships, after saying, "Hey, I have a record of making all these decisions and it going well." I can understand why he has the clout to do that in that organization. However, they just let James Harden do whatever. And Russell Westbrook did come into a new situation and accept a completely different role than he's been used to beforehand.
He did.
So, I couldn't blame Westbrook for that. Even if, it all comes down to this is Harden's team, from the personnel to the play style to everything. So it has to be on him. And unfortunately, I feel like I'm more likely to see Russell Westbrook go somewhere else and be successful getting a championship than I am to see James Harden.
Wow.
I don't know, because everything will have to center around James Harden. Because all these places that we're talking about trading James Harden, right? The 76ers, like all these places that somebody tried to put him in a Heat graphic. I'm like, they're not going to completely acquiesce to the James Harden formula of winning. I just can't see that happening, going smoothly, going well, and everyone else being successful, because I just can't see James Harden making everyone else successful in that way.
You're not too confident that after having to, because they're going to trade Westbrook. I don't know who's going to take Westbrook. We're going to talk about that later. But let's say they get rid of Westbrook. You don't see James Harden taking this as a learning experience. Do you see James Harden going into next season continuing being the exact same James Harden we've already seen? I mean, I guess we
have different sets of teammates throughout James Harden's career as a Rocket. If James Harden had the mentality he had as the sixth man on the Thunder, they would probably have won a championship by now. But because he is who he is now, I can't say it.
And DeLon, I'm glad you brought that up. So if we look back, let's look back to James Harden on the Thunder. Let's look back to even James Harden when he first got to the Rockets. What's the difference in that James Harden then and this James Harden now? The difference is the play style that was implemented by Mike D'Antoni. And that's why I wanted to give him a portion of this blame as well. I don't want him to go completely blameless in this category, in this discussion, because I feel like Mike D'Antoni created this monster that James Harden is. This, I'm only going to shoot threes. I'm only going to get to the free throw line. I'm only going to take layups, or there's no other shots. He's created who that is. And because James Harden has seen such great individual success due to all this stuff, he is not willing to listen to anybody else, because he's like, people. And then, like, you got to look back. There are people who made comments saying James Harden is the greatest scorer of all time. James Harden is the greatest offensive player of all time. He's accounted for the most points of all time. If you add in points and assists, like if you look back at that stuff, I mean, think about it. There was a year, I believe, the first year that James Harden was on the Rockets, he led the league in assists. Right? Am I wrong there?
I'll look it up as you're talking, but I think so.
Yeah, but yeah, like if
you said the first year that Mike D'Antoni was on the Rockets.
I don't know if it was the first year Mike D'Antoni. I think it might have been the first. Yeah, I think it might have been the first year D'Antoni was on the Rockets. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I mean, if we look at all these factors, a lot of these roles lead back to Mike D'Antoni, his style of coaching, and everything that he did to create the person that James Harden is. Now, granted, James Harden took it, he ran with it, and he became who he is today. And now he's like not listening to others, and he's like not willing to change his game. But also, like, Mike D'Antoni made him who he is. So I would also give part of that blame to Mike D'Antoni as well.
So we pretty much all in agreement that like James Harden is the biggest culprit here, and if not James Harden, is the organization that's enabled him with these bad decisions they've made in terms of personnel and also like coaching, forcing these other players like Austin Rivers to just stand at the 3-point line and only do minimal things, and then blaming him when things go wrong, or even putting PJ Tucker in the very, very just put him in a bad spot to make him play the center position every single game
and not pay him.
Yeah, and then not want to pay him after forcing him into this role that he has no business playing. Like, he has no business playing a small ball 5 for what's going to be a 72 season next season. There is absolutely no reason for that. But they're going to make him do that, and they don't want to pay him. This is just absolutely wrong. So James Harden and that Rockets organization are the biggest culprits here. It's not Westbrook who deserves the blame, although Westbrook, his style of play isn't very helpful come playoff time. At the same time, the larger problem here with the Rockets is not because of Westbrook. It's because of James Harden and his selfish ways. So now before you move on, Jordan, I will say the only thing I have to say about the PJ Tucker thing is that I'm always hesitant to speak on contract matters when there are not numbers released, because we don't know how much PJ is asking for. Like, he could be asking for an astronomical amount of money for someone his age and for what he does. So I mean, granted, I would like to see him get paid, but like, we don't know what he's asking.
He did a lot though.
Well, like I said,
I'll say the Rockets are so shiesty, they'll be the type of organization who'll be like, man, you didn't hit your numbers. It's like, well, damn, of course I didn't hit my rebound numbers. I didn't get my blocks.
Okay, that's fair too.
Yeah, but that's also fair too, Cam, because man, pay this man. I remember like when Kemba Walker, Kemba Walker was saying the Hornets don't want to pay me, and I'm like, how much? How much is Kemba Walker on? Because I probably wouldn't pay him either if he asking for too big of a number. So I understood when the Hornets were like, nah, you got to go.
That's true.
That's a good point. So now that we ID'd who the culprits are, we also, I guess it's we need to talk about Westbrook and where he's going to go next. He's been linked to the Knicks.
Right.
The Knicks are weighing the option. He's been linked to the Hornets. The Hornets have said that they have strong interest. They said that the Clippers asked,
And that's it.
They said that the Clippers asked about him before the news came out that he said he didn't want to be here
I
anymore.
don't recall.
They said that the Warriors asked as well about Russell Westbrook, but I think all that's just like, preliminary talks. Like, okay, how much would it cost to get him? Just call to see what's up, like see what the price is. I think that's what it was for those two teams. But I think the Hornets and the Knicks have serious interest, guys. Should those two teams have serious interest, and who is another team you guys think actually should get in on this?
Hornets, no. Knicks, might as well. Or it's the worst that can happen.
Hey, man.
But I'm going to tell you what I really think, though. I'm my fault.
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you what I really think, though. I think Russ, he really want to get up out of there, but I think he killed his market as soon as he said he wanted to play. I think everybody was like, oh, Russ on the market, let's go get him. Then when he said, I'm leaving because I want to play like I did in Oklahoma, and everybody was like, oh, that's what you want. And so it went from a lot. I truly feel like a lot of teams was like, let's see what Russ hitting for. And then when he said he wanted to play like he did in Oklahoma, then everybody was like, yeah, we gonna say that for them other teams with no hope. And
Woj said it's a slow developing trade market. Like he says, nobody's really.
He killed his value.
I don't know if that's the reason to kill his value, or more teams are just sitting there thinking to themselves like, do we really need Russ on our team? Or like, it's more so like calling him and then seeing like how much is it going to cost to get Russ? And they're like, well, he does make $41 million this year. He makes $44 million next year, and then he makes $47 million a year after that. Like his contract's already bad. It's only gonna get worse as the season goes on. And I'm gonna say this: I'm currently people on Twitter are actually upset about something I said on our Twitter page, where I said that Westbrook will make $47 million 2 years from now, and it's like he deserves it. Like, why you think look what he did this year? And I'm like, there's a reason why Westbrook is on the trade market and teams aren't busting down the door to try to get him. That's not a very good contract for a guy his age, leaving his prime, has had multiple surgeries on his knees and legs. You don't want to trade for somebody like that. Like it's just not he deserved it when he got it. This isn't, but now he isn't that same guy, and he's not in the same situation or anything, and not the same age. I think. Well,
and the thing is, that's not to say that he's not a great player, because think about it. There are players, like literally $47 million is a whole lot of money. Like think about especially like not saying that we're hoping that projecting that the pandemic is gonna persist, but like in worst case scenario, let's say it does, TV money goes down, ticket sales go down. Like $47 million, the salary cap could not move much in a couple of years. And let's say Westbrook is making $47 million. That's almost a third of your cap.
No, that's almost a half of your cap. Like the cap
is one player.
The cap is like almost around 109 mil. I think it's projected to be. So that's almost half.
Now, and for what he was doing in OKC, that's not. I mean, honestly, that's still outrageous. They're still outrageous for a single player. It's ridiculous. So, not saying that Russ is not a great player. He just, no one's worth. Yeah, exactly. No one's worth that.
It was about worth it in OKC because he was putting up half the production of that team.
Yes,
but anywhere else,
on a contender at that, because like it's hard to get somebody else on your team that's going to be complimentary. Like you had Harden on the same team as him. But like I said, they have a lot of other problems to prevent that from working. But if you're going to be a team that trades for him, you're going to have to give up a lot of salary to get him on your team. So then you're going to really need him to put up that $47 million worth of production when you get him. Yeah. And that's why I was kind of arguing. That was like, he's like, why don't other people? Why are y'all only on Russ case? I'm like, well, you guys sit here and think about it. Like, that's LeBron James money, that's KD money, but you aren't. But those players are going to take you somewhere by themselves that Russ by himself are not going to be able to do. But I think that the Hornets should invest in Russell Westbrook.
No,
they have.
I agree.
No. They have been stuck in mediocrity for a while, and I think that adding Russ there can make that team a little bit more electrifying and exciting. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they need to be giving up PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, and giving up what's the guy named Terry Rozier, and giving up the
Devontae
Graham, KU legend. They don't need to give up.
So what they gonna give up? Nick Batum and Biyombo?
Yes. That's what he's worth. Yeah, I said
that's low key what the Rockets need too.
Yeah, like they need a center.
Wait. Y'all think the Houston Rockets gonna trade Russell Westbrook for Bismack Biyombo and Nick Batum?
If you think about it, they are the ones who had to give up to get rid of Chris Paul. And it's a very similar situation. It's not like they say, hey, I'll take picks and you can have Chris Paul. They say, hey, I'll give you these picks if like it was a different situation.
I'll say this, Russ. Like, you can at least throw in maybe one young guy. Maybe you can give him just Miles Bridges, who hasn't really been doing that much. So give him Miles Bridges, Nick Batum, Bismack Biyombo, or Cody Zeller, and then call it a day. That's all it should take to get them.
I trade Terry Rozier. I throw him in there.
Yeah, but you know what?
But this is my thing.
Terry Rozier.
They got a nice young core, and they got a lottery pick. Now is not the night. This is last year. I get it. If it's the year before, I get it. Y'all have a chance to do something. Y'all, like, think about it, this. The highest pick they didn't have a minute.
And getting Westbrook
don't do this for us.
Getting Westbrook will not hurt that pick unless they draft a point guard. So like right now, we're projecting that they're going to get Well, they know. I think they might wait. They might wait until the draft is over just to see who they get, and then draft for Russell Westbrook. Because if you draft LaMelo, you might not want to trade for Russell Westbrook because that's going to hinder his development for like the next.
I heard they want a big though.
Yeah, so like I said, like what if they get Wiseman? If they get if the Warriors pass on Wiseman,
Wiseman and Russ.
Hey, Russ gonna feed them though.
Man,
and then think about this.
Feed them what? Mid-range shots.
Think about this. Let's think about a prospective trade. Let's think about a prospective trade where they trade maybe one of the good young guys. I'd rather not get rid of Miles Bridges or PJ Washington, but maybe you get rid of one of them. You got a lineup of Russ. You got the top pick. You got, I don't really know. You got Devontae Graham. You got, I don't know. Maybe James Wiseman. Maybe somebody else. Maybe Obi Toppin. I'm not sure who they get. But like, let's say they get one of these guys. That's a formidable lineup. Look at what Russ did in OKC. Look at what he did in OKC.
That's nasty.
I would give, like I said,
it's nasty.
It's not as nasty what they got already.
Nasty.
Nick Batum don't do anything for that team. Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
Look, man. I get what y'all saying, but the Knicks sound much better. How? Because they got players. They got young players. Okay, you can go Bobby Portis. You can go Frank Ntilikina. You can go Kevin Knox, Russell Westbrook. So you get what I'm saying? Like to me, I like that the Knicks got more young players and picks to trade than the Hornets do. If the Hornets trade for Russ, they got to give one of them young guys a value. The Knicks guys ain't
wait. Kevin Knox doesn't have value to you?
No, he don't.
Not like Pete State.
Kevin Knox sucks.
No, y'all sleep. No, Kevin Knox.
Look, Jaquez is like, Kevin Knox the true. He turned up that one G League, not a G League, that one preseason.
Summer League.
Okay.
That one Kentucky game.
Yeah, I ain't seen that season. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry.
But think about it. Okay, so y'all were talking about what the Hornets weren't gonna give up for him. Y'all think they finna trade for somebody who you think Kevin Knox or Bobby Portis? You think those guys not worth nothing now?
I mean, they better than Nick Batum and Biyombo. Come on now.
No, man.
Nick Batum 35. You got to pay him $30 million.
You begin
like $30 million.
It'd be like a contract dump. You be getting that money off the books because you know that the Rockets are salary cap hell. So if you trade for Nick Batum, Bismack Biyombo, their contracts would be up sooner than Russ. So you end up getting,
they in their 30s though.
But I'm saying it's more of a salary cap move more than anything. That's what it would be.
If they're trying to get rid of Harden in a year or two, might be it. And this is the last year of Batum's contract.
Yeah,
he is getting $27 million. So
send that man to the Knicks. Need this. They need this, y'all.
I'm gonna be real.
This needs this. Mero needs this.
This is the thing about the Knicks is they have so many problems that trading for Russ because, like, I don't believe in none of their young players. To be honest with you, except Mitchell Robinson, and that's probably the most only enticing person that roster.
RJ, no, come on now.
I forgot. I forgot about RJ. Yeah, RJ.
There.
Now,
he was there.
I swear I did. I really don't remember that much of his rookie season. He had a solid rookie season though. Not to slander him or anything like
him
that.
playing point guard and the 4.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
I watch the
doing
games.
So like I'm saying,
keep this in mind, Walt.
Mhm.
You say you need somebody to get the value out of Russell Westbrook. What coaches go get more value out of a player than Tom Thibodeau? He getting paid 44 million. He playing 44 minutes. These max.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. A combination of Tom Thibodeau and Russell
any other
Westbrook.
player on that team.
It sounds so combustible. Like
I know. I don't think the Knicks should do it because the Knicks are way more far off than the Hornets are, and I feel like getting Russ and then
are they?
Yes, they are. They're literally in the standings.
I was about to say the Hornets were like in the playoff race, right?
Yeah, they were in the race. Yeah.
Hey, listen. The Knicks, they need somebody playing point guard though.
Yes,
more so than the Hornets do, because like they were cycling niggas at point guard who just had no business playing point guard.
I say this: they both, the Knicks and the Hornets both can benefit from having Russ, as long as they don't give up too many of the young players to get him. Like giving up Terry Rozier is that's nothing. Giving him up is nothing. Giving up one of those young guys who don't really do any much, because a lot of those young guys don't do anything on the Knicks anyway. Giving up one of them guys is not RJ Barrett or Mitchell Robinson will not kill you. Giving up Frank and Kevin Knox does not hurt you as the Knicks. I would give up both of them in a trade for Westbrook and then go from there.
Okay, so I'll ask y'all this. We talked about better situations for the team. What's the better situation for Russ? If you're Russ, which team do you want to go to?
If you're Russ, you want to go to the Clippers.
Now I'm gonna say this. I know a team I think he'll fit very well on. I don't know if they will trade for him, but I love to see it. No, the guy know. Indiana.
Okay.
I want to see Russ in Indiana. Maybe you go Malcolm Brogdon and somebody else. You get Russ, Oladipo, TJ Warren, Sabonis. I think about it, you have two bigs that can space the floor out. Russ can do whatever he want. Oladipo gonna miss 60% of the season anyway, and he don't want to be there. So he might be. Do he want to be there?
Victor Oladipo.
No, but I would like him in Indiana.
Indiana's not bad. That's not bad. It's not good, but there's value in that if you trade for him to give up maybe Malcolm Brogdon, give up maybe some more.
And I'm gonna say this: you say what you want by Russ. Russ is loyal. Yeah,
is he?
Russ is a lot of things, but he is loyal. You put him in Indiana, he gonna stay put. If you let him do what you want.
Right in the middle of the Midwest.
A year after he got traded to the Rockets and he's asking to leave, he's loyal.
No, would you want to stay on the Rockets?
No, I wouldn't. But I'm saying that loyal might not be the word to use.
Look at how long he stayed in OKC. I'm a cord on this one.
Okay,
he's definitely loyal.
I just want to see a Westbrook
loyal
versus
James
playoff series.
That's loyal.
Yeah.
The problem was James Harden sold him a dream and switched up when he came. So he said, "Okay, I'm out." I don't see the problem.
What James Harden do?
I'll tell you what though. I would have liked Westbrook on the Timberwolves if D Russ was not there. Like if it was D Russ and Cat, I would have liked that.
Cat, okay.
Yeah, because Cat can space the floor, so he don't have to be in the paint, so he doesn't have to worry about a center being in his way, and Cat can live on the perimeter, and then he'll have a guy who can feed him all day, all night. Like defensively though, in a pick and roll, those two gonna get eaten alive. But that's here or there. That's gonna happen to D-Lo too. So
I've been thinking about. Okay. Well, I had a clip of question for you. How about this? This?
All right.
Let's just say you feel me. We take the 2-6 men and Pat Bev. We ship that out for Russ. Now hear me out. Now before you answer, Kawhi called Russ and he said, "Hey man, I know you want to have the ball. You want to do this, then the third. I got a proposition for you. I'll let you run 6 man." Would you do it? Would you let Russ run the entire bench for the Clippers?
No, that's
a 6 man. And then when Kawhi take days off, it's team Russ. It's Russ team. When Kawhi take
what, Corey?
Is he gonna take days off?
As a 6 man, I would absolutely love it, but that's Westbrook is above that.
But that would be awkward as hell for Paul George.
You funny as hell. You funny as hell. Yeah, it would be. Paul George would be like, "Damn, I got with him."
Russ, he loves it. Russ come to him. Hey, how you been, brother? Teamwork, loyalty, never leave.
But just to address it,
because in the season though, never leave.
But just to address Russ to Clippers, no, that's just a no. The Clippers aren't going to do that. They're not going to trade for a guy whose defender will sit in the paint, the literal paint, during the playoffs. They don't need that. They need an upgraded point guard, but Russell Westbrook is too expensive of an upgrade with too many drawbacks for his player archetype. The Clippers won't do that. But
And we'd rather have John Wall, honestly.
Shout out to Silas, Coach Silas. I hate that you're going to have to end up having to coach a rebuilding team. I love him, black coaches. I thought he was going to get a contending team. Now he's going to be forced to coach a not contending team, probably like another year or two. You hate to see it.
Conspiracy theory. Was he set up?
Yeah.
I think he was set up.
Yeah, that's why Ty Lue didn't take that job. That's why Ty Lue did not take that job. Because he was close. I think he was real close.
I think he was set up.
I think he probably heard what was going on behind closed doors, probably like Austin Rivers, and he said, "No, I'm not going there." All right. We've been here a very long time. So let's go on to the second topic of the day. Let's talk about mixtapes. A legendary website that was part of a lot of our childhoods, daftpiff.com. We downloaded hundreds and thousands, maybe not thousands, hundreds of mixtapes from DatPiff. I want to ask you guys, what is the last mixtape that you downloaded from datpiff.com? What's the last mixtape?
Now, does it have to be DatPiff, or can it be or can it be like other mixtape?
Well, let's see, livemixtape.com or
I use Spinrilla. I used to use DatPiff, but
I was over Spinrilla down myself.
Okay, Spinrilla, DatPiff, or livemixtapes.com. When was the last mixtape you got from an actual mixtape website?
So when I was actively listening to mixtapes, Internet Tape by Vic Mensa. But recently, in the last like 6 months, I took some trips down memory lane. Bar Exam 4 by Royce the 5'9", The Waters by Mick Jenkins, and then last but not least, I had to spin back last week. Friday Night Lights, J. Cole, 10-year. Had to do that one time.
I think Friday Night Lights is still on my laptop. I just don't have it on my phone. The last mixtape, I was just scrolling through my mixtape, I'm like, what's the last actual mixtape that I downloaded? And it's probably like The Waters. No, it's probably Summertime Shootout by Fabulous. I did check it out. And then it was before that, it was probably The Waters and Faces, which was 2014. Because 2015, I think, is when, if you read this, is Too Late came out, right?
Yeah, something all right. Yeah. Something all right.
And then
2015.
Yeah, and after it dropped, people stopped really putting mixtapes on just mixtape websites. They started putting them on streaming services. So after that point, I don't think I really ever downloaded a mixtape after that point again, except Summertime Shootout. That was the only one. So I think the last mixtapes I downloaded probably from one of those websites was probably Faces and The Waters.
Well, fun fact of the day, I used Spinrilla Monday because I was on title, you feel me? You know, I was on title. I said, bro, I ain't listening to McConan in a hot little minute. And then I found out that Title don't have half of his projects, like the older mixtapes. So I had to go on Spinrilla. I had to download the Drink More Water 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then
that's a lot of
whenever I'm on any mixtapes, I gotta It's facts. And whenever I'm on Spinrilla, I gotta re-download Blue Chips 1 and 2 by Brunson. Y'all know I love the Blue Chips. I love the Blue Chips.
That's probably one of the most fascinating facets of Cole when I first met him, was that he was a little B fan, but he also stan I Love McConan when I first met him. He was the only real I Love McConan fan I knew. Also, Rashad.
He was supposed to be the future, man.
Rashad turned for I Love McConan too, but it was mostly you though, Corey. And I didn't quite understand it. I didn't know if you were trolling or not. I was still trying to figure it out at the time.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Now that we see where hip hop is going, we gotta say he influenced a lot of people.
Oh, stop! Oh my! I'm so tired of you making these super vague, super minuscule influences on the entire next 5 years.
He influenced your GOAT.
Oh my!
He influenced your GOAT.
I'm slapping him out when I see you.
Did he not? Did he not influence your GOAT?
Slapping him out when I see you.
Did he not sign him?
Slapping him out when I see you.
Blackball him.
Sign him, got the fuck out of here. I'm so tired of you niggas this influence shit.
Damn, what's the last mixtape you remember downloading?
Kid Cudi is not all decade.
Don't know it's true though.
Cam, what was the last mixtape you downloaded?
Okay, so actually the last mixtape I downloaded, it wasn't on DatPiff or Live Mixtapes. It was actually through Apple Music, so excuse me for that. But also, it was YoungBoy actually just dropped a mixtape Downloaded that. Hadn't even listened to it yet, but need to listen to
He
it.
dropped again, right? I heard somebody on Twitter say that it's like YoungBoy dropped again. I saw that.
Yeah. That like at this point, I keep giving him chances. I really do.
Yeah.
And I want him to get back to a different form, but I feel like he's in a weird spot right now. I don't really know what he has going on. Music isn't great right now. It's not like unlistenable to, but everything's starting to sound very similar, and I'm just I don't know. I keep
Look, Core's
man.
over there.
Every time
Core's over there.
YoungBoy fans start talking about him,
talking.
every time the YoungBoy fans start talking about YoungBoy, it's always it wasn't AI YoungBoy 2, but
I ain't gonna lie, man.
AI
That was
YoungBoy 2, but I mean maybe
AI
we'll get the
YoungBoy
AI
different,
2.
man.
Damn, YoungBoy peaked already.
hey man.
YoungBoy peaked at
That perfect.
17.
I ain't
That's
gonna hold.
crazy.
Go to
I'ma say-
badass. Go to South.
While we
say
are,
this. Tay was like, "Cord, listen to YoungBoy 2." When I downloaded, it was perfect. It was perfect.
it was perfect.
See,
It was perfect.
YoungBoy, a high school hero. You hate to see it.
It literally could not. That album could not have been any better. That is one of my favorite albums of all time. Like
Yeah.
it's a fantastic album.
That's
All right,
facts.
so while we are
One of the best
here,
albums last year.
I have something to say.
Okay.
I'm tired of seeing this.
Okay.
Lil Uzi Vert is not a good rapper.
Cord agree with you.
I listened to the last the collab album he had with Future, and I listened to his last album, and I've listened to a couple of albums before that, and I'm like, why do people keep putting this guy on the level? Like I get numbers, like on the level with, you know, the Baby, Young Thug, you know. I saw this comparison thing, and it was like the Baby, Lil Baby, Young Thug, and then Lil Uzi. And like niggas was like, the Baby easily, you know, young Thug easily, or stuff like that. And I was like, no, it's Uzi. Like,
It's Uzi.
Trash. Like
I'll say this.
He might be better than the Baby. I ain't gonna.
So the
okay,
Baby
okay.
better, but Uzi definitely has a little bit more of a versatile sound. Well, he has a lot more versatile sound, but he'll rap the very same way over very different.
Hey.
Man.
And then
also
dark skin McConnell.
Uzi has the benefit of having what some might call a 2000 or 2010s classic mixtape. Maybe one or two of them. I honestly haven't been moved by Uzi project in about 5-6 years.
Okay, I'm glad we can agree.
But it's kind of like he has that one.
Facts.
Man,
but there's always every Uzi release, there's always one or two songs that go off.
I listened to the collab album he had with Future, and literally the only song on there that was listen toable was the song that he was not on with Future. It was just Future. It was a song with just Future.
I didn't think we were going to.
Glad Johnny here. We slander Uzi. We slander. It was Drake slander. It was.
It's facts though.
I'm actually making a graphic of some slander I heard you made of Trippie Redd. Rashad told me what you said about Trippie Redd music.
Wait, which one?
He said,
I said a lot.
You said the Trippie Redd music sound like Dracula walking into a room.
Yes. That beat the Dark Knight demo so funny to me, bro. It's super villain music. That is super villain music, bro.
Soon come. But he's an entertaining rapper. He brings a certain amount of energy. Like he can actually rap, but he doesn't really dabble in that. He uses the most time go off of vibes and just feelings when he's making the music. And because of that, it's hit or miss. Hit or miss.
Okay. Wait. I'm gonna add on this because I don't want people to hear this and just be like, "Oh, y'all hate Uzi." I'm gonna tell you this. Me and Rashada had the conversation a billion times. When rappers first come out, either I like they sound or they don't. And what I liked about Uzi was that he felt like a perfect mix of everybody. What I loved about Thug, what I loved about Future, what I loved about McConaughey, Uzi did all of that. But as time went by, he picked you know how there's some rappers got like 4-5 different styles, and then they picked that one style and said, "This is it." When Love Is Race, when Love Is Race 2 came out, I think it was a project before that. I said, Rashad, I don't like this. And he said, what you mean? I said, this ain't what I want to hear from him. And he said, nah, I called you bugging. I said, this is what he gonna sound like for the next 5 years. And then when he dropped the album in the deluxe edition in the beginning of the jump, was like, Corey, listen to it. And I listened to it and I was like, this ain't bad, but it just ain't for me. You know, this ain't the Uzi I'm trying to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's terrible. You said what?
I said Love Is Rage 2 is wonderful, so it couldn't have been that one.
Wait, was that the one with the Young Goods?
No.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Oh.
I did enjoy that album though.
I'm sorry. I couldn't.
I'm just tired of him.
Man. It was same with Tripping. I like Tripping.
Now, Cam, have you heard Lil Uzi versus the World, the first one?
Yeah, I have. Not a fan.
Ooh, okay. All right. You just don't like Uzi. Okay.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. Like, that's my whole thing is like, Lil Uzi has songs. He has like 3 songs that I absolutely love, and the rest of it I cannot stand.
Yeah, that's the tape that if you kind of like Uzi, you like that one. If you don't like that one, you just don't like Uzi. Understand?
Yeah, like I said, I think every artist, even artists you don't like, ends up having a song, 1 or 2 songs. But like Uzi, that's just not your cup of tea, and I don't blame you. Like I never really got Uzi until the album that Delon mentioned, Love Is Rage 2, and I was like, okay, I actually enjoyed it. And then after that, man, it's been a mixed bag since. Actually, I did enjoy the Eternal Take, but I admittedly have not really listened to it outside of the month that it released.
That boy John was gassing that out. My God.
Listen to Silly Watch Core. Go turn on Silly Watch Core, man. Silly Watch.
The deluxe edition was terrible though. I did not like it at all. Yeah. I will say that. But let's talk about Cam Boys. Let's talk about the Suns. The Suns have been in the news a lot lately. I know you're proud of it. So the Phoenix Suns are discussing a trade, and from according to Shams, it's progressed past preliminary talks. They're trying to trade for the point guard himself, Chris Paul. We don't know exactly what that trade looks like quite yet. There's been some 4-team talk, so they're trying to get the Mavericks and the Clippers involved. Most likely, what the Suns would end up giving up would be somewhere around maybe Kelly Oubre and naturally Ricky Rubio will have to go as well in order to make room for Chris Paul, because you can't really have both of them on the same team. So. Cam asked this question. This is the main thing I know he wants to talk about. Do the Suns become playoff locks next season if they have Chris Paul on their team?
Oh, I'm going to start by saying that I cannot express to you guys how happy I am to finally see my team in trade talks, in any type of any type of moves being made, period. And it just really warms my heart. Like when I saw that come over my phone, I was like, this can't be real. Like this is something somebody made up. And so, I was really happy to see that. But I will say this: if we look at the team that was in Oklahoma City last year, can y'all name me the 4 best players on that team?
That'd have been Chris Paul.
Outside of Chris Paul. That'd
have been Dennis Schroeder, Gallinari, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And
all right, so
this guy's probably Steven Adams, probably.
All right, so they did not have Danilo Gallinari. Did he play in the bubble, or am I wrong there?
No, he played.
All right. So all I'm saying is, if we look at the talent that team had, and then we look at the talent that the Suns have moving forward, even if they get rid of the players that you named, I'm more willing to say that our top players, along with Chris Paul, are much better than their top players along with Chris Paul. And I don't think that is a stretch of the imagination. I don't think that's me being a crazy Suns fan. I just think, especially along with Devin Booker being the player that he is, like I don't, and no one on this roster is who Devin Booker is.
No.
So I mean, carry that team because personally, I feel like that we had a good chance of making the playoffs beforehand, even if we don't get them. So to carry that team to the what were they, the 4 seed this year, the 5 seed?
They're like 5 seed.
Yeah, but to get that team to the 5 seed, I am literally salivating to imagine what he could do with our team. Like I would, and then with Monty Williams as the coach, like I think the sky's the limit for that team. I definitely think they're a playoff lock if Chris Paul gets there. Now the only thing is, it would be our first time actually playing with expectations, and I would like to see what our team would do with that. But I mean, I definitely could see us being a top 6, at least top I mean, at least making the playoffs. That maybe a 6 seed or between 6 and 8 somewhere.
So
if Aiden don't miss 25, I think y'all would have made it. It's just me though.
they definitely would have won one of those. They would definitely have won one of those 25 games that Aiden didn't play. Yeah, they definitely would have. So I think the Suns are already on the right path to making the playoffs. I think they like I said, they barely missed it this year. I think next year they're only going to build on top of that. They found out what Michael Bridges is really about. Cam Johnson was looking really good to close out the season. Devin Booker was masterclass inside the bubble, like excavating.
Aiden was shooting.
And Aiden started shooting. Yeah, he did.
Almost like a certain big man in Minnesota.
So,
he just trying to be like Cat.
We bringing this back.
We
bringing this debate back.
So
to
Cam's point about Suns roster without Chris Paul being better than the Thunder's roster without Chris Paul, I agree, because Devin Booker is definitely better than anybody on the Thunder. Then if you look at the next best player, Ayton is just as good, if not better than whether you think the second best player is Schroeder, Shai, or
Gallinari, Steven Adams.
And then Gallinari won't even be on the Thunder next season. Like, that's another thing to look at. So it's definitely he's definitely better than Steven Adams. So the Thunder are most likely going to lose if they were to lose Chris Paul, and they're going to lose Gallinari. That team is going to fall out the playoffs. I'm pretty sure of that. But that being said,
Schroeder free agent too. I think Schroeder free agent too.
Yeah, but he said he wanted to stay. He said he wants to, but we'll see. He said
that's nice.
He said he's not really interested in going anywhere else. He'd like to stay in OKC. But this is the problem though, because while I do think the Suns were already trending up, and if you grab Chris Paul, there's two problems. One, Chris Paul is still been injury prone most of his career. There's a good chance he can go down, and you had to play like 15 to 20 games without him. There's that. He was healthy all last year, but that's pretty much an anomaly for like the latter half of his career with the Clippers, with the Rockets.
Ain't no 6-month break.
Yeah, it was because of the 6-month break too. So that's usually what he does. He usually gets hurt at some point during a regular season. Two is the fact that the Warriors are back. So so for the Warriors and the Suns to make it, two teams are going to have to fall out the playoffs. Also, I think what the NBA is going to do, which I don't really think it makes sense, but I think they're going to schedule more divisional games for teams to reduce travel, which I don't know why they think that's going to cut down on coronavirus, to be honest with you, because if you still get on a plane and flying somewhere, you're still traveling. Like, I don't understand the reason behind that. But if they do something like that,
I guess it'd be better than the players.
I guess, but you still, the whole reason they're doing this is because of coronavirus, not because to make players less tired. But the only problem with that, and that's what I think is going to.
We got a really tough division. Yeah,
we probably have the toughest division in basketball because it's the Clippers, the Lakers, the Suns, the Warriors, and the Sacramento Kings. Like, like all those teams could easily be
playoff teams.
They could all be playoff teams. Wait, Timberwolves not in a division. Are they?
No, I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening, to be honest with you.
No, they're in the Northwestern Division with the Blazers. But they don't want to be included.
Tough.
I thought we were just saying a bunch of Western teams are about to make that. I about to say the Timberwolves left out.
No.
So that boy ready.
So yeah, Cam, if they do that, that's going to be a bloodbath in the Pacific Division for the for your team, for my team. It's going to be tough. And it's kind of like the NFL is like. There are really good teams that are like just in really deep division. Like if we end up having more divisional game this year, like there are really good teams who are in really deep divisions, kind of like the Cardinals or like the 49ers are like above 500 right now. But I mean, you may have a team that's not that good get into the playoffs, kind of like the Eagles may get in this year because their division is just so bad. But like, not saying that the NBA is like if you win your division, you get in, but like just because y'all are gonna beat each other up so much, it's gonna make it harder for that team. Yeah, it's gonna boost your record or make your record come down by having to play against such hard teams. Having to play against the Lakers 2 to 3 more times than anybody else, that's gonna hurt you a lot if you're trying to make a playoff push. So that's gonna be the biggest challenges for the Suns. I'm gonna wait till free agency goes finishes before I say for sure if I think they will or will not be in the playoffs. But if they do get Chris Paul, I like their chances. I like them
a lot.
I actually think I like that team a little bit more than the Blazers if the Blazers don't do anything. Because if the Blazers stay in pat, I think I might like the Suns better with Chris Paul than them.
Yeah.
But
Because Nurkic missing 20, Dame gonna miss by 10, CJ gonna miss by 15.
Don't know if they bringing Melo back.
don't know if you bring him.
Don't know if they're bringing Melo back.
So, Cam, let me ask you this:
Whiteside gone.
what are the Suns' other priorities you think this season? Like, so if they do trade for Chris Paul, they let's say they move Oubre and they move Rubio. That's all it took to get the move. What should be the Suns' next biggest priority for the team?
So that's what I was gonna say, Jordan. A discussion that we had earlier this week is when we were talking about Dario Saric possibly being involved in the trade.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even if we don't trade him, we're either gonna have to re-sign him and pay him a good amount of money, or we're going to, or we're just gonna lose him in general. And if that is indeed the case, I mean, looking at the teams that were deep in the playoffs this year, you're gonna need some depth at the big man position. Like, you look at the Lakers, you look at the Nuggets, you look at the who was the other team? Who did the Heat play?
Oh, the Bucks.
Okay,
Celtics?
maybe.
Oh, yeah, Bucks.
Yeah, but maybe like thinking about all that, like, you're gonna need some depth coming out of the West. You're gonna need some depth at the big man position, and I would love to see us make a move at someone. I don't necessarily know who that would be, but that's our next need, like having some depth at the big man position.
Six man.
God no.
I'll tell you what.
You say you need a big man. We got a big man, 6 man. Just letting you know.
I ain't gonna lie. You know what? I might not mind Triz actually.
Yeah, try to be nice though. Or Bertans. He on the mark. You need a little stretch.
Maybe. Yeah.
Bertan's gonna probably be gonna be a little too expensive.
Yeah.
You gonna get that bag. Who's signing him? I just thought about it.
I don't know yet. I will say there's a couple of options they could do. They could always bring back Dario Saric. That's a safe option. Just overpay him. They could also get into. You mentioned earlier you'd be interested in an Aaron Gordon trade. I'm not exactly.
I would love that.
That would probably cost you Cam Johnson or Michael Bridges in order to get him to get that job done.
Y'all can draft one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope might fall.
Well, and that's the thing too, because I feel like the pick is going to be involved somewhere. I feel like in the Chris Paul deal, I really do feel like that.
It shouldn't be Chris Paul.
I mean, I didn't think it should be either, but I feel like we may have to overpay if we try to get him, because I think there are other teams that would be willing to overpay to get Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And, and the thing is, they could also just decide to not make the move and run it back.
I'm gonna tell you what, Ricky Rubio and Oubre are better players than anybody. That's a better combination of players than I know the Bucks would be willing to give up, than the Lakers would be willing to give up. To be honest with you, I think the Suns are the Thunder's best suitor. Like, I think y'all are the best suitors in all honesty.
Yeah.
Except like if the Knicks get real crazy and it was like, take everybody.
Absolutely.
But the Knicks could do that.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But that's an option. Trade for Aaron Gordon.
If it make you feel any better, hey man, my power forward going to the Suns.
But we could get absolutely crazy. We can get really crazy. And
hey man, my player going to the Suns.
I'm gonna tell you what they could do, Cord. They could trade for Chris Paul, and then they could rescue your boy from Detroit.
Oh,
Blake, think about it, Cam. Think about this, Cam. You got 2 vets.
I ain't gonna lie.
You got 2 vets.
Chris Paul, Devin Booker.
Be fire. Blake.
I don't know who the small forward would be. Blake Griffin, Andre.
We'll figure that out.
You figure that out later.
I ain't gonna lie though. The only thing about that is that the only thing about that is that we would be lacking a lot of depth, and we would be picking up a lot of play. I'm having a hard time saying that word today, but we would be lacking a lot of depth. And then we would be picking up players, three of which are injured. We would have 3 players that are injury prone, because Devin Booker always misses time, Chris Paul always misses time, and Blake Griffin always misses time.
Hey, but y'all have the best medical staff in the league, the Phoenix Suns.
This is true.
Yeah, so
that's a beautiful starting 5.
Hey, it is.
Also keep this in mind, Cam. You forget the Suns have the best medical staff in the NBA.
Then there's also this fact too.
Y'all still got the best
They
medical
do.
staff, right?
I'm pretty sure they do for the most part. But then also y'all could always go for Danilo Gallinari too in free agency. I think that like by trading, getting Chris Paul, I think y'all still have enough cap space to probably sign him. So y'all could get Chris Paul and Gallinari.
Well, and the thing is, even with getting Chris Paul, trading those two, we don't lose a whole lot of cap space picking up Chris Paul. Like I think I looked at it and it's like $6 million, which is like, I mean, that's not much.
No. So the Suns definitely have options, and if they play their cards right, they'll definitely be in the mix and be a very, very competitive team compared to everybody else. But I want to talk to you guys about. We're gonna move back to hip hop. We'll talk about a little bit about music before we finish with our last basketball topic of the day because we've been here a minute. I want to talk to you guys about your favorite trends in hip hop. What are your favorite? Like we talked about things we hated in the past, like we hated the oversaturated albums, like why we hate getting a deluxe edition of an album just to be a whole other album. What are your favorite trends in hip hop right now? Things you actually are enjoying a lot. Come on, guys.
I mean, I don't see it that much, but I don't keep it real. I kind of miss the promo runs. Like remember that? Like we don't really get that no more. People, we just wake up, hey, we dropping the album. Like Meg, one of the biggest artists out here. I'm thinking, she finna do a whole lot. She was just like, I'm dropping my album next week, pre-order, and it was just like, boom.
Oh yeah,
hey, that's a longer promo run than I've seen from anybody in the last year, not named Drake.
It's facts, but I was thinking, for somebody like Meg, I'm thinking she finna come out with a whole little thing, but we don't really see it no more. It's just boom. Here I go, niggas download it, stream it.
Yeah, coronavirus robbed us of that. Chords, unfortunately. I think my favorite,
at least an album trailer or something.
I'm pretty sure we get something.
Yeah. So Cord, I guess what you're getting at is kind of like sometimes when like rappers would do like challenges and stuff to like help promote the album. Yeah, that was really cool.
She's bound to do something because that's like
none of it.
That's how many weeks away? How many weeks away is her album?
It's literally next week.
I think it's next week.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
I mean, she been like
Lance working on a newspaper or something.
She did do that, didn't she? If she hadn't done already. If she hadn't been already.
This is my thing. Bro, she did a promo for Mortal Kombat before a promo for the album.
She did?
Which I love, by the way.
She probably made more money off Mortal Kombat.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't.
She dressed up like Melina, was dancing as Melina because they brought Melina back in Mortal Kombat, and I'm copying Mortal Kombat because they brought my queen back. So
that's hard.
Yeah,
that's hard.
It is hard. I sent it to the chat like 5 times in one day. I was very excited.
Cord now Cord.
It was Meg and Melina. What's the chance?
Cord, you had to.
Okay. Jordan, you gotta explain.
Horny on me.
No. It wasn't even like that. This is legit just Mortal Kombat hype because I refused to buy this Mortal Kombat because they didn't have Melina. Like I was protesting all year. I was hurt.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Wait. Is there a new Mortal Kombat coming out?
No, it's one that's already out.
Yeah, they added
okay.
She's DLC.
It took long enough, but they did it.
I was like, I need to cop this.
Yeah, they've been adding characters for a minute now. I was about to tell you. Oh, my favorite thing in hip hop, like my favorite thing, at least this year, has been anytime that Benny the Butcher, Westside Gunn, and Conway team up to do a song together, which is literally every Griselda album. There's a track with all three of them on there. It's just fun as hell to see all the three of them merge together, especially how successful year they've had individually doing features on other people's albums. It's just cool as hell to see them all team up together and give us that moment on everybody's albums. That's probably my favorite thing this year. The Griselda trio teaming up on a track.
So my favorite thing, not the biggest fan of the trends in music right now. I'll say short albums from my rappers. Cause I don't know. I feel like I haven't been getting the intersectionality of the music that I love. But when I get it from those guys, I don't want it to be over an hour, particularly. Yeah. Another thing would be, man, I don't know.
Yeah,
I had something, I lost it. I'll get back to you.
We'll talk. We'll come back to you. But like, it's so easy for us to like talk about what we hate about rap all the time, or like, damn, I hate this. I want us to not be old man yelling at cloud for a change, and we're gonna talk about, this is what we love in hip hop right now.
Yeah.
This
Something. I don't know if this is necessarily a new trend, but something that I have seen a lot this year, I feel like, is when like younger rappers getting to like pair with their like older versions of, not necessarily older versions of themselves, like people who like they really enjoy. Like I was thinking about Mulatto on Guwap, like when she did. I mean, on Muwap, and then I was thinking like Will Smith pairing with Joyner Lucas. Then it was like. And it was like just sometimes I really like seeing that. That's a really big thing for me.
Young Boy with 2 Chainz was pretty cool. This week. I actually listened to this one before we got on.
You know what? There's also a Young Boy Snoop Dogg song that's really good too.
Yeah. Hey, no, that Young Boy Nicki on that Mike Will.
Yeah.
You
did send that 4 times to the chat too, Cord.
I did. On YouTube, because we only streaming it on YouTube.
YouTube.
Also. I got a quick complaint. Hey man, why somebody DM me asking, "Hey bro, you gonna talk about the Nav album on the podcast?" They almost got blocked. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know if they thought I was somebody else, but I'm not the Nav fan on this podcast.
Cool, I'm curious. Don't out them. Tell us later. I'm curious who did that. I'm so curious who asked you that. We're not gonna talk about Nav album on here. I haven't heard it.
Look at these racks, man. Come on, man.
Has anybody else heard it?
No,
I've heard a song of it.
I've heard only good things about it.
I saw like the request, and I clicked on the request. They was like, "Hey, bro, you gonna talk about this?" No, I said, "Man, I'm not."
No, what's crazy is he's listening right now. He just like,
Shout out to
you, my brother.
That boy Core got admirers at saying, "I need Core opinion on this Nav album." Core out here laughing in their face. Do better, Core.
I got so like it
better.
Legit made me mad. Like why out of anybody? Why would y'all ask me? Me out of all, like y'all ain't never seen me tweet my Nav. It was like, hey man, I need you to talk about this Nav album.
Let me stop.
No. Listen to me. Nav is legit the worst rapper ever. Nav has
come on now.
Zero.
But see, Corey, the thing is about you. You'll hate Nav, but you'll absolutely love someone who's not Nav and makes music exactly like him.
No. This is the thing.
Corey.
The music ain't gotta be perfect. I love a lot of artists that's far from perfect, but you gotta have something. It can be one thing. You can be the worst rapper ever. You just got a personality. I think is. I might think your bars is funny. Nav ain't got none of it. Nothing. I ain't never heard no quotable. I ain't never heard no verse. It's only been one time in my life where I heard a Nav verse and I didn't know it was him because he actually sounded excited, and that was on Lemonade. Every other thing this man did, in a song with them, it was okay. Everything else, absolutely terrible. He is the worst rapper ever, other than Lil Xan.
Well,
you just gonna act like Trinidad James don't exist, huh?
Hey man, at least Trinidad James has some bangers. I ain't got no bangers. You listen to a Nas song by himself?
No, I haven't.
Trinidad James gave us 2 hits and a decent debut mixtape. Nas ain't gave us none of that.
All right.
He ain't gave us none of that.
All right, guys. You heard it here from the guy who downloaded 5 I Love McCona mixtapes in 2020. Nas the worst rapper.
McCona gave us ballads. Man. He gave us Swerve. He gave us I don't see a Molly no more. He gave us Tuesday. And I'll never forgive Drake for their remix. But this conversation for another day.
What? Cool.
I like the remix. And also
Core, man.
That's a conversation for another day, DeLon.
Anywho,
conversation for another day.
My other thing that I like.
No, ain't about to hit it. Come on, man. You gonna so excited. My niggas ain't gotta see a PAX no more.
So my other thing that I like trend. I'm liking the 10-year, 5-year anniversary of the mixtape. We moving it over to DSPs. Bryson Tiller did it. Chance did it. Drake did it. Everyone's doing it. Cole said he is soon to do it with Friday Night Lights. And especially as we're coming upon more and more of our favorite music from our favorite eras, Mac Miller did it. We're going to get more of that on DSPs, and I'm liking it. Get those samples cleared, though. Stop working on it last second, artists. Lil Wayne, that was the most disappointing thing I've ever seen in my life. Getting No Ceilings with 7 tracks on it. And it was not any of them.
Just 7? Just
Oh,
7?
man. It was like 7 tracks. And it's like, on No Ceilings, everybody know that first 5, 6 songs of No Ceilings, that's like, he had like one of them.
Bro, he could have left it on
That's what I'm saying. This nigga had ice cream paint job, and that's it. Ice cream paint job, and I'm single on Banned from TV, and that's it.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
Oh my god.
only one topic left. It's up to Cord. We haven't had it in a long time. It's time for Who's Wildin'. Cord, who do you have for us today?
Man, it was gonna be Oladipo, but now they saying it's fake news. But I'm gonna do it anyway because I think it's true. Hey man. Hey man. I'm in the chat chilling. It's facts. We spreading fake news today. Cause I'm gonna tell you why. Cause I truly believe it, man. A little rumor came out of teammates and reporters for the Indiana Pacers came out and said that Victor Oladipo, after multiple games, went to the star player of each of these teams and said, "Can I come play with you?"
That's hard.
Like Can I come play with y'all? And he said this in front of teammates. And so his sister came out and was like, "No, this ain't true." And the next day, he did a little damage control. It was like, "No, I'm staying. I don't believe it. I believe everything that reporter said. I don't know who this reporter is, but I believe this person. Because after y'all saw that bubble game when they lost to the Lakers, when they beat the Lakers, he ran straight up to LeBron. Hey, over, LeBron, he got to do the little.
Yeah.
Come on over. You take a little vegetable minimal. When they lost to the Miami Heat in the playoffs, hey man, Miami, you come on, Bill Murray, you come on over here. We throw it up in Miami. We see you Duncan Robinson's like this and that. Bruh, Victor Oladipo want to get out of there. You know what? I know we heard it all year. They offered that man 4 year, $80 million. Ain't no star player in their right mind taking that kind of money is gonna be on the contender team. That man want to go. He lying to us right now. He capping. He giving us false activity, false rumors, false truths, whatever you want to call it. It's fake news. He will not be on the Indiana Pacers for the playoffs of next season. Book it. These is facts. That man gone.
All right,
and the sickest part about it is you went to the New York Knicks. I don't even know who the team is, but you went to one of them players and said, "Can I play with y'all?" You went to the Knicks and said, "Can I play with y'all?" The most desperate team in NBA history. They will trade. They will sell they sold for any player with an all-star appearance. And that. And you asked them, "Can I come play with y'all?" You asked them. Who you went to? You went to RJ Barrett. You went to Frank Nicolino. He went to Bobby Portis. He asked Bobby Portis for to be a tag along.
Nigga begging Todd Gibson. Let me come play with you.
Hey, man. Victor Oladipo again. Jimmy Butler energy.
Oh, what'd you say to the line?
I said Victor Oladipo again. Like big Jimmy Butler energy.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's a winner.
Shouts out to
Jimmy Butler was a winner.
Don't let Tay hit this.
Hey, no, that's another thing. Let me get on this Jimmy Butler.
Don't let Tay hit this.
No, hold on. Jimmy Butler is a winner as of this year. So now it's all okay. As soon as Russell Westbrook makes it to the Western Conference Final, it's all going to be okay. We get it.
For sure.
Victor Oladipo makes it to the Western Conference Finals. Even if he gets carried there. Oh, he was right. I see you. I get it. So why does
he did the right thing? He did.
They finally get to the right team after bitching, moaning. They finally get to the right team. Now it's all okay. All 8 years.
We
do this enough. We talk about Jimmy Butler almost every episode now. But just to hammer home DeLon's point. Jimmy Butler's the only player to not get past the second round and be dubbed a winner. Everybody else is called a loser. Melo, Chris Paul, all the other people couldn't get past the second round, and people called them losers. But Jimmy Butler was a winner before he went to the Heat.
It's all about expectations.
A whole pandemic.
It's all about expectations.
That man, 31 years old. He ain't a winner.
Well, he an overachiever.
Hey,
that's what it sounds like to me.
I look at it this way.
Who got a 93 on 2K though?
It's facts. If Paul George goes to the NBA Finals, all that slander goes away. Think about it. We've been killing Paul George for 2 bad playoff series. Like for the 3 now because of this year. Yeah. We've been killing Paul George because of 3 bad playoff series, and 2 of them wasn't even his fault, in my personal opinion. This year was his fault though. I ain't. Well,
It wasn't even completely his fault this
Conversation
year.
for another day.
No,
Yeah.
that- yeah,
Victor
conversation another day.
Oladipo.
But get back to Victor Oladipo. He's absolutely lying. I 100% agree with you, Cord. I don't believe that he actually is committed to the on the
Man,
It's been reported all season that he's been wanting to leave. He
all year.
He almost didn't play in the bubble, and then last second he showed up to the bubble and he did
Facts.
play. And then like it's been reported all these like he doesn't want to play there and he wants to get traded. He's in all these trade rumors. And it's like I'm committed to the team. No, he's not committed to the team.
Yeah. You know who said that? Paul George.
Paul George said the exact same thing before he demanded a trade out. He also came out and said that I don't want to be like Charles Barkley. I'll take less money. Oh, that's just so funny. So funny. Victor Oladipo, you'll be lucky to be regarded as Barkley in the lexicon of NBA history. But it's the fact that he said
I love hating on Suns legend.
He said that I don't want to be like Charles Barkley. I'll take less money to go play somewhere else and win. So it doesn't make sense for him to say that on tape and then say I'm gonna resign with the Pacers. I want to win a title here.
Don't make sense. Also, I'm gonna throw this out here. You know who else lied to say they committed to their team?
Cool.
That man in Houston.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. You know what, Cord?
Harden did say that. Now. Harden is doing some unbelievable things because we talked about how him and Westbrook had to talk to each other. So I'm like, did Harden and Westbrook agree that okay, Westbrook, you gonna demand a trade, but then I'm gonna act like I want to be here and act like I don't have nothing to do with it. You gonna look like the quitter, but not me. Do you think that's the conversation they had? Because that seemed very weird to me. That like Harden has maintained that he's focused on the season. He's ready for the next season. Meanwhile, Westbrook's like Westbrook is tired of here. He hates it here. He thinks that the environment here is toxic. That don't sound like two people who was on the same page to me. It just don't.
Nope.
And also, this how you know it's cap. You don't think it's odd that as soon as James Harden come out and lies about wanting to stay, all the stories about his teammates hating him come out? Rockets leaking that.
Yeah, Rockets are like, nah.
That's why when y'all ask me who worse, the organization or Harden, I said it got to be Harden because even though the organization a little shiesty, James Harden made a lot of these moves happen. They got D'Antoni because of him. They kept Daryl Morey because of him, and now he finna go. He finna get up out of there. Now the whole franchise finna be, but I'm gonna push a new agenda. I think like him and Embiid will be great together, but now I gotta go back to my first James Harden pair. And Jordan, you might remember this. In the beginning of the season, I wanted Jimmy Butler in Houston because I feel like that would have been a perfect co-partner for James Harden. I want Harden in Miami now.
And Miami got the stuff. They got the things to get him. They got
I want him in Miami. I want him in Miami, man.
By the sound of who James Harden is, I don't think Jimmy Butler would love that.
Because I'm gonna say this, I always felt like James Harden is just as good, if not better than Steph Curry. He just always needed Klay Thompson. I think Jimmy is Klay Thompson.
Jimmy Butler definitely wants to be like that guy, and also he's not going to stand for a guy who just becomes very lackadaisical and just becomes apathetic on the court. He ain't gonna stand for that.
He let a rookie take 20 shots in the playoff wop. He ain't that selfish. Come on.
Nah, but I'm saying like because
look, man.
Tyler Hero works hard, and he always tries hard.
I feel you. I know y'all don't rock with what he did in the past, but I saw him let a rookie take 20 shots in playoffs.
But I'm saying that he.
That's also different.
They can't play defense.
That's also different.
They can't play defense.
But he tried.
This is Jimmy Butler actually being a great teammate for once in his career and wanting Tyler Hero to be better and be that guy.
That's not -56 in the finals, y'all.
That's not James Harden walking in and saying, "This is my shit now."
Yeah.
Imagine that.
But this is the thing. I think I'm gonna say this: if James Harden goes to the Miami organization, he not gonna be able to pull it.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. James Harden will low key like automatically be the best player in the East.
Yeah, he would be.
Think about this. Imagine if it's James Harden taking them shots in the final instead of Tyler Hero. Imagine. Imagine. I need it.
Playoffs and James Harden.
He was a -56. A -56.
He's a rookie.
That's insane.
Over 6 games, is it really that bad?
Look
Over
at man.
6 games,
Hey man,
They're just
everybody
losing
was
every
Tupac for
game.
being a
It's like,
plus.
it's
Right,
like
right.
losing every game by 10 and he's
and they
a
hype him
starter.
up.
It's like losing every game by 10 and you're a starter.
All right.
Okay, maybe it is
All right.
that bad.
Yeah.
What was I about to say?
I don't know, but
Man, send baby go to Houston. It is what it
Oh wait,
is.
I was gonna say still the funniest example of player committing and then leaving is Kyrie Irving.
Connie
That
got
shit.
go.
I can't.
Irving said, I will be back. I'll be re-signing by the end of the year. It was out in like 9
No, and then he was like,
he
and
did
then
the
he was like,
commercial.
if y'all will have me.
Commercial.
He did the commercial too. Like he did the commercial, like when his jersey be hung up in like the rafters of Madison, I forgot what.
TD Garden.
I'm gonna say this. Y'all are absolutely right, but why should we feel sorry for Boston? It's Boston. Come
No,
on,
I don't feel sorry for that.
I don't feel sorry. That was hilarious.
It's just funny. It's just funny. All right, but that's all I
They
got,
actually
guys.
call it Marcus Smart's racial slurs, and y'all expect loyalty from the players. Come on, now. Do better, people.
That's all I have. You guys have any closing thoughts before we call it a day?
Hey man, one thing I gotta say.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal, please grow up. Please leave Dwight Howard alone. I'm so tired of this. Bro.
Grown man.
Like
Senior citizen.
I watched one. I don't know if y'all ever seen those beef videos that they make, but like I watched one of those beef videos and how the argument started with Dwight and Shaq, and then like all the stuff that Shaq has done after Dwight has said he wants the beef to end, and he continually persists. And then the stuff he did after Dwight won the championship, and then he just recently did something again. Like, come on, Shaq. That's enough, bro. He's never gonna be you. He's never gonna be who you are. So just stop.
Shaq is ridiculous, man.
Just let it go. No, this is my thing though. What killed me was they said Shaq said, I'ma always get on Dwight head because no one has to pass me. No big man is one of the MVPs since me. And everybody was like, Dirt, Tim Duncan, Giannis, Kevin Garnett. What are you talking about? Are you talking about like is there like a certain weight limit or what you mean? Like what you mean? We had 4 big men winning.
God bless. God bless Shaq.
On there, man.
But all right.
And also, this is my thing about Shaq, bro. If any of the OG centers talk about Shaq the way he talk about Dwight, he die.
Like Bill Russell now.
Exactly.
If Kareem came out and said anything, if Hakeem came out and said anything about Shaq, he will crumble.
It had to be Kareem who has more titles than him. We'll have to come say something. Yeah. It had to be him. But all right.
I mean, okay, never mind. That's a discussion like you.
Hey. I don't know. No, what you about to say, Cam?
You smoking on that Shaq pack next
I was about to say no. The only thing is like I was about to say. People say like you said the only person that could have said something would be Kareem, but we watched a couple of years when Hakeem and Shaq went head to head, and Shaq didn't look too good in the matchups. That's all I gotta say.
No, those are facts. Those are facts. I just know Shaq's card he's gonna pull is I have more titles than you. Is it what he's gonna pull? Kareem, he would be able to do it with Kareem.
Ran that nigga to LA.
And Kareem also got more MVPs, so he'd be able to say, I got more MVPs and I got more titles.
And Kareem would never say anything.
No, he wouldn't. But that's the only person that could like really say something to Shaq, and Shaq would just have zero to say back to him. Yeah. That's the only big man. He just better be lucky that like all the other big man greats just don't care as much as he do. Like they just really don't. You don't ever hear Hakeem speak. You don't ever hear Kareem speak.
That nigga, man.
When you hear Kareem speak, he's talking about social justice issues. He don't even talk about basketball. Like you hear about any other great man, they don't. Dirk at the crib eating with his black queen. Like they ain't none of them other big men really caring. Even Kevin Garnett is. Only time you hear Kevin Garnett say something, he want to talk shit about LeBron.
African queen.
He ain't talk about nobody else. Kevin Garnett be chilling.
He be chilling.
Yeah, Ray Allen.
He'll hype up Cat now and then and talk about somebody from his area that he hates. But he ain't hating on new players.
But he don't really hate on nobody new. You know, he don't hate on nobody. Oh, he just hate on them two people. Them two people. And he teach
the young players, which is what you supposed to be doing.
But you think Kevin Garnett? You think with Kevin Garnett's personality, he has been the one to be that type of guy and like post retirement.
Paul Pierce, funny enough.
Yeah, it's actually Paul Pierce.
But I'm gonna say that, but with KG, he ain't got nothing to prove because he solidified. With Shaq, to me, the way Shaq talk, it feel like
he solidified too. That's the crazy thing about it.
I'm gonna say he solidified, but I think it's an insecurity in him where he felt like he could have did more, and so he look at the young players as if I was still if I were, if I could go back, I think he looked at the white and said, I want the white to accomplish what I couldn't accomplish. And I feel like that's where it come from.
But then
he got to fix that himself.
Yeah. He needs some damn therapy. That's what it sounds like to me. But that's all we have. Thank you all for tuning into the episode of the Pop of the Man podcast. Tune in next week for another episode of your favorite podcast. We'll see you then.
Hey.